Yeah, this is just us rambling because we were having a philosophical discussion on rifles and bullets and what ifs, and I had posited a what if, like my last famous what if, like what if the FNFAL had been universally accepted and then the AR-15 or the AR-18 ends up becoming these minor weird footnotes like, oh, who would have built a Lego aluminum gun? That sounds dumb. And so, thank God we got an all steel and reciprocating charging handle and all the fun stuff.
Honestly, if the FAL got the after implementation support that even the G3s had, because there are efforts to bring the G3 into the 21st century. They're kind of half-assed.
Yeah, like the spur stock and all that.
Secondary service rifles for home troops. But if the FAL even got that much attention, it would be an excellent rifle today.
Well, it would be scary. It would be absolutely terrifying if you had like 50 years and trillions of dollars put into modernizing it for all the battlefield roles instead of just like, it's good enough and then forget about it, or it's good enough if it's single fire only.
The closest thing we've got today is the SA-58, the OSW, and that's
yeah. That's God, what is that? There's that outfit, DS Arms, that makes metric patterns.
And I like what they're doing with that. If that had been the end result, though, of iterative design rather than just being, hey, this is what we've got, let's update this platform.
No, and you're right with that, because if you look at DS Arms and what they're doing, they're making really, really good metric pattern FALs, and then they're making them in all the CQB variants. I really like the Congo Para Carbine, and the FAL is...
No, the folding stock Para FAL is the perfect rifle.
Right, because everyone's like, oh, I want the big long one. I'm like, no, you don't. What do you want to do?
It's a fucking pike.
Well, what do you want to be like? Do you want to reenact the Ulster Provisional Guard or something? Fucking put that shit away, But the thing is I like very much that Congo Para Carbine, and the thing is if you cut that thing down to 16 inches on the barrel, and it's not an accurate rifle to begin with, if you put a one power if you put a Sig Romeo on that, it would run just fine. Anything that filled that reticle dies, and it would be a baller ass gun. And now I have a project. God damn it, deputy.
Well, and the British were thinking along those lines.
Well, yeah, we're replicating what they did. They were like 276, 280, blah blah blah, and everyone's like, no, we need full fucking NATO. And then nowadays we're like 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.8 SPC, and it's...
In the 50s, the British were like, we need something just a little smaller than full-power military cartridge. We need to make the rifle as short as possible, which is why they were really into the bullpups. We need a fixed magnification optic as standard issue with all soldiers trained to operate it. That's all stuff that we are only just now going, yeah, that was a pretty good idea, let's do that. I mean, the Aimpoint CCO and the ACOG only just hit the point where they are common enough that they're more common than carry handle rifles in the military, and we're already replacing them with the low variable power optics, the new ones. Those are not SIGs, are they? There's something else.
There's something, but it's hard to tell anymore because it's not like the old days where it's like Swarovski, Zeiss, and everyone else. And now it's... Schmidt and Bender, the scope you can't drop. You breathed on it. It needs...
Beautiful glass, though, man.
I know.
It's crisper inside that tube than looking at real life outside of it.
I know. It's like a reality-enhancing scope. I did look through it.
When you look at an 8K TV and you're like, man, that's too sharp. It's like that.
No, I drove over to a friend's house, and he had a Schmidt and Bender on his Seiko TRG 42. And
so that would have been the PM or the PM2.
Yeah, and when I looked through it, the thing that bothered me most about that scope, and I don't know what optical black magic was at play, but I noticed that things in the foreground and the background were in near the same relief, and I was like, what is going on? It's
Yeah.
movie
No, they-
focus. It's movie focus where, you know, in the movies where they're like, ah, yes, I zoom in on the guy and he's like there in the window. That's how close it looks. That's the weird feeling you get with it. And it's so,
uncanny.
yeah, it's really, when people know their shit with optics. Yeah.
And that's why they're $2,000 optics, is because they do that one very, very specific thing very well. If you ask them to make a red dot optic, they'd probably do okay, but it wouldn't be to that level of craftsmanship because they don't do that.
So here's my question. Alternate 1960s. Aliens have invaded Earth. However, the last time they looked at Earth, they saw 1400s technology. Yes, I'm doing a hairy turtle dove nod in that one. So they land and they have like radiation guns and radiation artillery, and they're generally insufferable, but you can still kill them. So what is the battle rifle versus the men from Mars?
I will have to ponder that for a half second.
Okay, here's my take. The aliens land and we find out that they die in the way that John Basilone made people die. You know, you just feed them 30 cal till they stop moving, you know? And so I'm gonna go with something a little wild. I'm gonna go with a man portable 1917 water-cooled machine gun, but with a belt, like a John Brown belt, but on crack apparatus to carry it around, you know? And you would have a water canteen bolted to one leg, and you would have ammo boxes all up your back in a giant cloth pull belt, and all on your front would be flak jacket. So you would just walk toward the enemy with flak jacket and something appearing like medieval armor. And you would just walk toward the aliens and be like, take that, neutron man. You know, I love atom punk shit. So that's,
Yeah. I want to. It is retarded. It really is. But
Okay.
I want to say something like the Maxim sled that the Russians used.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you are also going Maxim derivative belt fed.
Yeah.
That's how I know that we're really good friends, because we met over the internet and these are the conversations we have, and we've met in person and these are the conversations we had. Because when you were hanging out, we were when you were hanging out, we were doing part 2 of Mara Civil War. That's when you came to visit. We started watching all the Timothy Dalton Bond movies for no reason. And they were magnificent because we just started coming up with what if Bond gadgets and weapons that were just horrific. You know, like Bond turns his wristwatch and it just has a spring loaded, like a giant spring in there that just shoots a razor disc into somebody's neck. So, you know, the guy's like, I believe you've cheated on cards for the last time, Mr. Bond. And he's like, well, don't lose your neck. And the guy goes, that doesn't make sense. And then it just like goes out the back of his spine. I'm not going to tell people anything they don't know, but like Timothy Dalton Bond was the hardcore Bond. He was the one that killed people. He was the one that like got shit done. He was like the gritty Bond. He was like the, yeah, I'm trashy. Yeah, I got a cigarette boat. Yeah, I smoke inside.
Yeah, I do methamphetamine. What about it?
Yeah, my car's a submarine.
I really wish they'd given Dalton a little bit more to work with.
No, dude, you can't blame the guy. Look at Roger Moore. He had to fight. Roger Moore had to fight Christopher Walken, whose character's name was Max Zorn. And the finale for that film was they were fighting over a blimp.
Ah, yes, the Soviets are well known for using emplaced MG-42s.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. God, I'm just trying to talk about anything other than the history. Oh! It's Tokarev time. So I had a question from a fan, a gun question, and they said, what is to stop you from doing the Looney Tunes thing of bending a gun barrel and sending a bullet around a curve? And I informed them, you can curve bullets.
Yeah, nothing. The Krumlauf.
Yeah, the Germans did it, and the Russians did it, and then I started asking myself an even better question. What if And I'm just saying this, and I need you to kind of hear.
That was a beautiful headshot.
Thank you. I need you to kind of hear what I'm laying down here, all right? What if the end of the barrel of your submachine gun or rifle was threaded and crowned, and I don't mean like an inch or two, I mean like 4 inches. This is why. You would then have barrel sections, male to female, similarly threaded, with rubber gaskets on the inside. So every guy in the section would carry 1 or 2 of these extra barrels, so they could thread them together from your protected position like a foxhole, and you could slowly extend your rifle all the way out to the enemy foxhole, and while they were sleeping, blow their brains out at point blank range.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine the psychological terror of seeing a muzzle slowly slide into your foxhole?
It'd be like watching the Bangalore torpedo.
That's what I mean. It's a Bangalore barrel. It's a Bangalore barrel. That is my idea. It's the Bangalore barrel concept.
Oh, that is horrific.
Come on. It's a great idea.
Well, and you know that the second, it's Stalingrad, Zhukov's throwing people at the problem because that's what Zhukov does.
He does it well.
But he's, you've got dead Russians everywhere, and they start scavenging other sections' barrels. And just making longer and longer barrels.
Think how awesome that would be.
Getting squibs just from barrel length.
Yeah, well, they'll eventually hammer it out. Look, here's... that will become a squeeze bore. So, God, this is cursed. I mean, I like the idea of the bang. Well,
even a hotter 7.62 Tokarev to get around that.
Right? Yeah. Oh, look at this guy. Hold on, Tokarev. I mean, I like the idea of really cursed weapons, because you have to realize in World War II, like, Jeffrey Pike is like, what if we add wood to water and freeze it and it makes pikecrete? And then, he, like, shows that it doesn't melt in the bathtub, and then he brings it into a meeting and fucking shoots it with a gun, and the bullet ricochets and hits somebody, and everyone's like, brilliant!
Yeah!
And then they're like, no, that's dumb. Because, like, building an aircraft carrier out of, like, sawdust and driving it around is kind of dumb when you consider you can just build one out of, I don't know, steel? The industry we've cultivated to build for 100 years? Perhaps we could use that. Because people are like, it would have worked. And I'm like, but why? Because if I found a different way to fly other than propellers, like if I found a way to fly where I could, like, release the screams of orphans from a balloon that caused sanity damage or something, I would say, hey, I found this other way to fly. And you'd go, but why? This is a worse way to fly. Ah, God. Okay, you have to use the thinking of people back then when they just would come up with gimmicky, dumb way to do shit, right?
I love the idea that the British finally get around the fact that they accidentally deforested their nation before becoming a naval power. They finally get around that by figuring out the steel warship thing, and they immediately start looking for ways to not use steel.
There's a lot of weird shit in England. Like, like, In It is the British version of Uwu. Did you know that they call ice cream cold on the cob? That a gun is a Rudy Tooty point and shooty, I believe. I'm gonna take issue with the Kraut's flak board here.
Oh, they've got what?
Well, I mean, the wall of this trench is very sloppy.
Yeah.
This is not reflective of good work. It's like, literally, what? What is this place?
I'm surprised they had this much corrugated tin in March of 1945.
I mean, in all honesty, it would just be tearing up wooden doors and placing it on this. That would have been a nice touch, like bombed out house doors, like the houses of old rich houses, or the doors of old rich houses. All right.
I was discussing with Mike
no.
about the next time I make it up there, what we should do for the courtesy flush.
Yeah.
He really, really wants to do Police Quest.
Oh, no. Police Quest. Okay, so you have a psychotic cop who comes out and he's like, you have a barricaded woman in a house. Use the correct item to solve the problem. And normally I'm like, gun, because
there we go.
No, it's gun because it's the 80s and you can just shoot through walls. No, look, there's a bunch of teller mines in there. So this is responsible.
Hey, They're launching a V2. Look, it's slowly raising from the Pienemunda static launcher, which was totally in Berlin at this time.
Yeah. Well,
and also, these are Russians launching a V2.
Yeah,
Where?
I think they're trying to start World War III or something. Like hit London.
Pat will do that if they just let him live long enough.
Well, you know, sometimes you're a general and sometimes you take an unadvised opinion on things, and that turns into a unfortunate car ride, sir. I think Patton would have honestly killed his own career. Mistress.
Yeah.
No, just Mistress and all that stuff. That's really old school Army, and I think that would have run afoul of the new professional stuff that came in with, like, Strategic Air Command, the separation of the Air Force, the more professional Cold War Army, not the good old boys Army.
Yeah, I cannot see where Patton would fit into the military that Curtis LeMay was a part of in the Cold War. Even MacArthur, as psychotic a man as he was, he's very similar to Patton in some ways. He couldn't hack it and was out 5 years after the end of the Second World War. It's a different conflict. Fucking sniper trying to crawl up all unnoticed.
Okay, we gotta shoot something on that fuel truck. Oh, it's that button? Oh, objective completed. Oh, wait, I see. It was on the rocket. The gas door. The gas door that they have.
Oh yeah, it wasn't glowing red. How are we supposed to know?
As we all know, when a rocket like a V2 blows up at the launch site, those within viewing distance are surely unharmed.
Oh, we walk slowly away from it? Yeah.
And that's the end of the game.
We are feared snipers.
Isn't that the end of the game? I don't
Is
know.
it?
Let's find out. Let's find out if we actually end. Oh no. Tear Garden airstrip, because the Red Army is gonna let this thing take off now.
All we gotta do is go watch. The Ford Tri-Motor slowly taking to the air. What's that? The entire Red Army? Oh god.
The guys who've been waiting to blow everything up at once. Okay, here's what we're gonna do, Deputy. We're gonna...
There's an entire anti-aircraft guards division in Berlin that is pissed off that the German Air Force doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, you would be able to walk on the bullets. Oh yeah, that works. What? This is the weirdest sounding M1 carbine I've ever heard. What is this, a nail gun?
Holy shit, are you watching the path of your own bullets?
No.
It's a parabolic arc that at first I thought you were throwing grenades at them.
Well, hold on, let's... What?
Hold on. You need to switch to another rifle so that I can pick that up and you can see it.
Well, how?
Because it is retarded.
Oh my god, I can't kill that guy up there. I think he just got bored and he's leaving. Ah yes, my favorite. Hotel. That's where I take all my friends. Hotel?
I would have given them points if the sign said hotel in German and English. Those are very nice key textures, although those are not... That's a mix of several different key types. It does not seem accurate for them.
Well, here's the other thing. Sieg, Wunderwaffen? I mean...
The art style's correct on that.
Oh, it's it's the wrong font, which is killing me. The Germans use Futura.
Oh, here's hold on, what's it say at the top?
Volkssturm.
Die Roten kommen. Volkssturm. Der Laufen von nirgendwo.
Gerade so dort.
Gerade so.
All right.
And I like how he's on the BMW R75, but he's like holding the handle like he's on an Italian scooter in the 60s.
Well, you know, he's trying to look fashionable for the War Crimes Tribunal. Speaking of, we're gonna need a lawyer for ours.
No, we're the victors. We don't
oh shit, there is a tank. It is patrolling. Oh, I see it. It has a cap. Okay. Hey, do you know what Diesel does when you hit it with a bullet?
Absolutely nothing.
No, it does that. I mean, this looks like it. You know, in the first Sniper Elite, there was actually a mission at the airport, and I think you can make shots at like 1,000 meters on stuff.
Yeah.
Then again, in that game, the scroll wheel actually controlled your rate of movement. That was a different game.
How novel. We have taken out an entire Guards division worth of Russians just so far. We are winning the Battle of Berlin for Germany.
That does not make me feel better.
Man, they had those banners ready to throw them on the Brandenburg Gate like that.
Yeah, man.
Hold on. I've been in this square. It does not look like this.
So what you're saying is you have a better understanding of Europe than they ever will.
Fuck. Yeah, I suppose.
But you know, I was thinking of a game because I played Papers, Please. I'll play Papers, Please sometimes on my lunch break, you know? And I was thinking, what would be a fun follow-up to Papers, Please? And I know that guy's always tries making different games, and they're all very unique.
Have you tried the Oberdin by him?
I have not, but I watched someone play all the way through. I don't think that's my style of game, but I recognize it's really cool.
No, but I really appreciate that he's trying to do something different.
With each game. And so I thought about a follow-up because I love Papers, Please. I think it's hilarious. It's hilarious and thought-provoking in the worst way. It's a beautiful black comedy in my eyes, and I'm not a game reviewer, so I can't really make that judgment. But one of the things I think would be really fun is I would love to do a Comrades Detective style game where you and another guy basically do a Arstotzkan-themed LA Noire as the police.
You are the Ministry for State Security.
Yeah, and so you get to drive around in a fictional Eastern Europe, and you wouldn't even have to hire voice actors for the dialogue. It's the dialogue from Papers, Please. What?
Why did they pull the main rounds out of the tank?
So you could shoot them with a gun. Here, let me show you. Like this. Oh, wow, that's disappointing. Let me try with the rifle. Yeah.
Oh, that did it.
Yeah, that did it. As we know, 30 carbine is required to detonate these fuses.
Oh, this seems like progress. Yes, we are going to take the shot from the top of the Brandenburg Gate.
Yes!
Oh God, he's driving away. Okay.
Oh.
Holy shit, we managed it.
Wow.
That is...
Oh. I hate to point this out, but a Kubelwagen will not wreck that fast. They just roll on their side and stop.
Oh, that was a wonderful face.
And then 80 rifles just point up at that building and decimate it.
At 8:23 the next morning, May 2nd, 1945, when Commander General Weidling submitted the surrender of German forces.
So hold on a second.
General Chukov of the Red Army.
Instead of chasing this wolf guy, we could have just marched into the Führer bunker and murdered Hitler.
A new war was beginning.
Yeah.
The Cold War.
Like, I think that would have been a cooler prequel or intro. Like, you kill Hitler and the rest of you is escaping Berlin.
It's the airport scene from Modern Warfare, but they're all German generals in the Führer bunker.
Oh, yeah.
You're not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with you.
No, that would be a cool opening mission. Like, you kill Hitler and all his goons in the bunker, and then you have to escape the encroaching Red Army as it falls. Like, that would have been a cool scenario. Like, you're an OSS guy, you have to make sure Hitler goes.
Do the little bit of build up like they did in the first Medal of Honor, where you're in the German uniform showing your papers.
Close
to the Führer bunker.
Yeah,
do that little bit of world building and then have that scene, and then the escape. But you're still in German uniforms. You can start ditching, clothing items. But all of the German officers were doing that. You still look like an enemy to the Russians.
Oh yeah, that would. I mean, a disguise mechanic. A lot of things like that would really be cool. Also, I guess this ends this one. Next one is Was it Italy?
V3? Yeah.
V3? We're gonna shoot down the Italian super helicopter that runs on spaghetti noodles.
No touch of spaghetti.
No touch of spaghetti.